All right, we are live on YouTube. I'm just waiting on the video to connect on my other monitor so that I can grab that link and put it in our free business mastermind group so the community can join us easily and conveniently on YouTube and in the live chat. All right, let's see. Let's grab this link and put it in the group right here. All right, I'm waiting on that to cycle through and post so that we can get started. Let me make sure I can see the live chat. And I can. All right, well, let's get started. Welcome to your First Six Figures morning show, where every show is intentionally more of an interactive coaching and training experience to position Black and Brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate their first six figures by learning how to make the money and create time freedom. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/website. That's shaycannon.com/website. Let me throw that over there in the YouTube, because what we are talking about and what we've been talking about all week long is skyrocket your service-based success with a powerful website, because what we understand is, yes, now everybody has a website, but not everybody is strategic with their website, and it needs to be strategically designed, because every page of your website has one job, just one. Each page has one job, and the job from page to page varies depending on the page type. Now, on Monday, we talked about the home page and what its one job is and how we get them there. I think we did 15 different strategies to get it there. So if you need that, go back to Monday's replay about the home page. On yesterday, we talked about the about page, and we talked about its one job, and I gave you 15 different strategies to help you to achieve its one job. All right. Now, today, we're going to talk about your expert page, okay? Your expert page. Now, if the information is vast enough for each, it can be separated into two different pages rather than having it combined into one. Now, what do I mean? What are we combining? What am I talking about? I'm talking about a speaker page and a media page. Excuse me. It can be one page, a speaker media page, okay? On this page, your service-based business's website serves a unique purpose, all right? And the purpose of your expert page is to showcase your thought leadership and your industry influence, okay? That's its one job. It's the place on your online platform to share your expertise, your insights, excuse me, and your thought-provoking content with your target audience by curating a collection of articles, videos, podcasts, and speaking engagements. You demonstrate your deep understanding of your field and establish yourself as a trusted source. This page not only attracts potential clients through social proof of your subject matter expertise, but also builds credibility and positions you as a go-to resource for information. It's a valuable tool for generating your authority as the choice for solutions. All right. So that is the blog. That is the overview of what your expert page is supposed to do. Now we're going to, on the morning show, we give you more than what's in the blog. So I'm going to go to my show notes. Let me get over here to the show notes. Okay, there we go. And as you know, we're going to use my expert page as an example of how to have your page do its one job. Okay, so keep in mind, this is a culmination of a speaker's page and a media page. Let me explain something to you. If you have media and you've had speaking engagements, great. Put the social proof on there. But even if you've never had any media and you've never done speaking engagements before, but you would like to, your goal with this page is to show people what you can do. Okay, so what should media reach out to you for if they've never reached out before? What are the subject matters that you're an expert in? Not just the industry, not just your title, but the specific subject matters. Do you have signature topics that you really talk about and kind of focus on? That's what you want to display on this page, okay? So if media were to come calling, what could they come calling for you to give your expertise on? That's what needs to be on this page. When it comes to speaking, what do you specifically want to speak about? Okay. And these signature topics should lead and be connected to and relevant to, okay, and on the journey to your offers. That's how it connects up. Okay. So I got how many ways, how many strategies I got today? I got 15. We're back to the number 15. All right. So let's go through these 15. And then your question is going to be kind of the same it's been all week, which is what changes do you need to make to your expert page to showcase your thought leadership and industry influence? Okay. We're going to start with Dr. LaFera when we finish, but let's get started with these 15 strategies to get you there. And again, just as a reminder, we're using my expert page as an example. What I have done is, because I know that each one of my pages is doing its job for the one job it has, I had Gemini, because, ChatGPT let me down this week. So I went to my side boy, Gemini, and I asked it, hey, this is the one job that the expert page is supposed to perform. Review my page and tell me all the ways that I have gotten this page to do its one job. And so these are the 15 things that it pulled out. All right, let's go. Number 1, focus on transformation and impact. This is going to be a recurring theme if you haven't picked it up yet. Talking about transformation and impact is how you get somebody's attention when they need that transformation and that impact in their life, in their business, in their whatever area that you're helping them with. Okay, so the emphasis on transformational nature of her speaking engagements, or my speaking engagements, rather than just motivational, immediately sets me apart. It suggests a deeper level of expertise and a focus on lasting change, not just temporary inspiration. The focus on the impact I have on audiences reinforces this. Okay, so I talk about transformation and impact. Number 2, specific examples of tools. So the page highlights the specific topics that I address, such as resilience, leadership, and personal development, that demonstrates a breadth of knowledge and expertise within my field. So I'm not just doing the hard skills, I'm also doing soft skills, okay? But we're gonna talk about the specific topics, what I've been calling your signature topics, okay? Number 3, benefit-oriented language for event planners. Okay, anybody that wants me to speak, whether it's event planners or podcast hosts, whoever is going to interview me or whoever's platform I'm going to be on, I'm telling them the benefit on this page. So the copy directly addresses the need for event planners, outlining the benefits of hiring me as a speaker. This shows I understand their target audience and their priorities. Phases like ignite your audience and inspire action speak to the desired outcomes for event organizers, okay, or podcast hosts. Number 4, testimonials and rave reviews. The inclusion of testimonials and reviews from past clients provides social proof and demonstrates the positive impact of my speaking engagements. These endorsements build credibility and trust. Okay. Number 5, visual evidence of speaking engagements. The photos and videos of me speaking at various events provide visual evidence of my experience and stage presence. This helps potential clients envision my speaking at their events. Number 6, emphasis on connection and engagement. The copy highlights my ability to connect with audiences on a personal level and create a truly engaging experience. This is a key differentiator and demonstrates my expertise in audience engagement, okay? Not just my area of the industry, but also engaging in audience, because we've all been places where somebody was speaking and we know they know their stuff, but the way they're presenting it to us, we don't want to hear it. Okay, so when you get on other people's platforms, you need to start thinking about audience engagement, because that's what you're there for. You're there to give value to the audience in a way that they can receive it, not just throw stats and stuff at them that's going to go over their head. All right. Number 7, call to action for booking. The clear call to action, Book Shay, encourages event planners to take the next step and contact me. This reinforces my availability and positions me as a sought after speaker. Okay. Number 8, implied expertise through affiliations and media. While not explicitly detailed on this page, the mention of media appearances and my book elsewhere on the site contributes to my overall credibility and positions me as an established thought leader. Okay. Number 9, focus on outcomes. The copy emphasizes the outcomes of my speaking engagement, such as increased engagement, inspired action, and lasting change. This focus on results reinforces my expertise and my value to the event holder or podcast host. Okay. Number 10, targeted messaging. The language used is specifically tailored to event planners and organizers at addressing their needs and concerns. This targeted approach demonstrates my understanding of the speaking industry. Okay, so targeted messaging. You're not talking to your client on that page. You're talking to people who need you as a resource, as an expert. Okay. Number 11, concise and compelling language. The copy is concise and it uses strong, action-oriented language to capture the reader's attention and convey her message or my message effectively. Number 12, visual storytelling. This is a theme, storytelling. Can't tell you enough about storytelling. The combination of photos and videos creates a visual narrative. It's actually photos and audio, but anyway, creates a visual narrative of her speaking style and the impact she has on audiences. The visual storytelling enhances her credibility and makes her seem more relatable. And I just thought about it. They're right. It's photos and videos, because when you click, it goes to the videos, even if it was a podcast. So they were right. Visual storytelling, y'all. Number 13, professional presentation. The overall design and layout of the page, combined with the quality of photos and videos, contribute to a professional image that reinforces my expertise. Number 14, clear value proposition. In other words, what's in it for them, right? I'm clearly telling them what's in it for them. So the page clearly articulates the value proposition for event planners, outlining what they can expect from hiring me as a speaker. This clear value proposition strengthens my position as a go-to resource. All right. Number 15, accessibility and ease of contact. The prominent Book Shay button and contact information make it easy for potential clients to connect with me, further enhancing my accessibility and positioning me as a readily available resource. Okay, so those were the 15 strategies pulled directly from my expert page or my speaker media page, so that you can do the same thing on yours to get it done, the one job of your expert page. Okay. So we're going to start with Dr. LaFera. The question is, what changes do you need to make your expert page to showcase your thought leadership and industry influence? But I saw you, I saw you unmute all fast, but I'm going to go back through these 15 right quick with all the extras, just so that y'all are reminded, okay? So hold tight, Dr. LaFera. You don't even have to mute again. So number 1, focus on transformation and impact. Number 2, specific examples of topics or your signature topics. Number 3, benefit-oriented language for event planners. Number 4, testimonials and rave reviews. Number 5, visual evidence of speaking engagements. Number 6, emphasis on connection and engagement. Number 7, call to action for booking me. Number 8, implied expertise through affiliations and media. Number 9, focus on outcomes. Number 10, targeted messaging. Number 11, concise and compelling language. Number 12, visual storytelling. Number 13, professional presentation. Number 14, clear value proposition, or what's in it for them. Number 15, accessibility and ease of contact for the purpose of me being an expert. Okay, so those are the 15. Dr. LaFera, what changes do you need to make to your expert page so that it does its one job?
I guess I need to look more at the benefit oriented language. You had mentioned one for the podcast host, and you had mentioned one for the audience. So I need to look at that.
Love it. Love it. We got Kimberly over here on the YouTube side. Good morning, Kimberly. And yesterday, Glow was on the YouTube side. Let me tell you how I read what she was writing and forgot to tell y'all what she wrote. So shout out to Glow for yesterday participating, even though I forgot to tell y'all what she said. All right, let's go to Dr. Latoya. Dr. Latoya, what changes do you need to make to your expert page to showcase your thought leadership and industry influence?
I think my expert page is probably the weakest page on my
Not the weakest
website.
link.
It is. It looks like it was a throwaway, right? It was
Mm,
an afterthought, and despite my best intention to be updating it, I have yet to do it. I'm going to use today's topic as my motivation to get to it. But one of the things that I definitely know I need to add are from my last speaking engagement, I was sure to get like testimonials and people's reviews in
yeah.
different locations and stuff like that. And so I want to go and add that to the site, and also like just more visual images of me actually doing it.
Yes, I love it. One thing I need to add is some of the actual like Zoom comments and some of the Facebook comments that is a true testimonial, because the testimony they picked up on was me saying what other people have said about me speaking. But I would like to put that actual visual social proof on there. So I'm going to add that as a section when I update it. So yes, anytime y'all are doing like these virtual events and people are saying good stuff in the comments, after you speak, take time to scroll back up and get screenshots of that stuff, okay? Because I love to do that, and then I do a post on it, like your girl killed it again, right? And I have those screenshots as pictures that people can see, because people following you need to know that you are a great speaker. So I love that, and I'm going to add that to my page. So yes, Dr. Latoya, get on it. Now you got some good a good template of things that you need to do. All right, Dr. Tachi, what changes do you need to make to your expert page or in creating an expert page to showcase your thought leadership and industry influence?
I actually need to put, because I don't have booking info for me,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a combination of the network. This page that I'm talking about is a combination of the network and then the about me. So I don't really have like speaking
Mm-hmm.
or booking information. That's something that could definitely be added.
Yes.
And I don't think I need like the visual evidence of speaking. Like to me, it feels like if I had a whole page for speaking, I could do some of these things, but I don't think it's necessary. But I don't know. You may have different insight.
Yes. So on your landing page, it should have a section. So, like we said, each of the pages we're talking about this week should have some space on that landing page as they scroll down. So,
Yes.
yes, you have a section on it. Yes.
Okay. I just didn't know whether to make it long.
You don't have to make it long. I mean, I feel like it could be like two sections. I feel like most of these pages can be like two sections on the landing page.
Okay.
For this one section is just can just be about your, the topics and some of your media icons, and then the next section could be like the little thin form where they can book you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you
And
can do
I
that.
need to add media icons as well. So.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Mhm.
Cool beans. All right, let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, what changes do you need to make to your expert page so that it does its one job?
I need to create one. I,
Okay.
I just looked at my site and I was like, I don't have that on there. I talk about it in other areas, but it is not specific where they can literally just go in and tap and get what they need. But I'm redoing the websites anyway. But yeah, I do not have that page, so I need to create that page.
Yes, and don't forget, y'all, you're not naming it in the menu expert page. You're gonna name it
Right,
speaker media page. So make sure that it's named where people know what it is when they go
right.
there. Because they could easily misinterpret your expert page as a service page if you're not careful. Cool beans. Thank you,
Yes,
Cheryl.
ma'am.
All right, let's go to Dr. Ayana. What changes do you need to make to your expert page to showcase your thought leadership and industry influence?
First of all, she needs to create an expert page.
All righty,
So,
there we go.
but I will say that a lot of the elements, maybe about half of the elements I have, sprinkled about different areas on my landing page. However, once I do create a specific speaker media section on the landing page, I do need to really hone in on at least half of the items that were listed, particularly, the visual evidence of speaking engagements. On a previous website, I may have had these things, segregated into one, but I do need to add about half of them to one particular. Matter of fact, let's just say I need to add all of them to one particular section to create a speaker media page. But I highlighted half. I highlighted about 50% of the bulleted items.
Okay, not a problem. I love it. I love it. So I love that we know that you want to get in front of more audiences, right? So it is going to be imperative that you do some dedicated space for them to understand and have somewhere to go to understand what are the signature topics that you talk about, because you do have them. What media have you gotten, and what are some of those accolades that you've gotten in the past? So we definitely want to put all of that on there. So yeah, you definitely need that.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Let's go to Shawana Kennedy Media. What changes do you need to make to your expert page so that it does its one job, Shawana? What changes do you need to make? And Shawana is
one of the things is I don't have no.
Sliding in here
While
like
you
Kramer.
talking, I'm working.
Taking
I do
7 minutes to get to the mic. Jeez.
Immediate action over in these streets. One of the things that I don't have on the speaker page itself is I don't have any type of pictures. Like I don't have none, like the one of me, but there's nothing, whereas some of the instances of me speaking that is on the speaker page itself. So that stuck out like a bing. I don't have that on there.
And let me tell y'all how sometimes you guys go to these speaking engagements and you don't have anybody take pictures. Give somebody your phone and ask them to take a couple of pictures of you while you're on the stage, because that stuff becomes valuable social proof. Or let me tell you this, I always ask, when somebody asks me to speak, I always ask them, are you recording it? Will there be, if it's in person, will there be a photographer there? You need to be getting social proof. It needs to be in the forefront of your mind as a part of your process when you're going to be a speaker. When I do podcasts or virtual summits or whatever, I don't just do the comments. Like I will do a screenshot of what we look like on the screen. So even when I did the interview with Shawana last night, I did a couple of screenshots of just how we looked as we were recording. You need to get these pictures and this evidence, right? So if you don't hire somebody to, come there and if you are a keynote speaker, I might well hire somebody, right? And have them take pictures of me while I'm on the stage and have them take the full video of me on the stage. And I have that for myself rather than relying on the event planner. But most often, I have already asked the event planner, are they going to have a professional photographer? Or is the photographer assigned to take pictures of each speaker and not just your event stuff? You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know. And will I have access to those photos and videos? Because I would like access to them. So let's be intentional when we're doing these things, because we can't just be doing stuff that nobody knows we're doing. And we have to get more into that bragging mindset of having proof that we are the shit, okay? Because we need the proof. We can't just be saying we need the proof, because how many other people are saying they're good at something and they're not? How many other people are saying, oh, I'm a speaker, and they're not, okay? Also, sometimes I love the fact that what Dr. Latoya has on her resume now is that she's an international speaker. She's an international speaker. I'm an international speaker. Sometimes, when it comes time for you not get paid to speak, when you have an opportunity to add an accolade that you didn't have before. So if you have an opportunity to speak internationally, but they're not going to pay you, you might want to think about the fact that you now can add international speaker to your resume and to your highlights. Okay. Sometimes that's better That's the value of it. Okay. So think about some of the arenas you haven't broken into yet. And can you add that to your accolades? Because that might be the payment. So think about that part too. Especially when sometimes you can sell from the stage, sometimes you can't. You have to think about other ways to get your value out of it. What did you want to add, Shawana?
Just right where you were in regards to people, especially if you won awards, and saying that you're an award winning, whatever the thing is, especially if it's in the field of what you just putting, like you said, the accolades, it really does help uh, when they're searching you out to look, because it speaks more to your expertise.
Yeah. You have to keep up with you need to have a brag list, and it needs to be growing all the time, right? What about you is brag worthy? And there are things. So get out of the mindset of, especially us as women, Black women, religious women, you tend to understate who you are. And I need you to overstate. I need you to brag. This is the time. Okay. So another thing that Dr. Latoya can add is she's an international best-selling author. You need to pay attention to this stuff. Some of y'all can understand when you're a best-selling author, but did you look to see if it charted at all on international charts? Because that is a whole nother brag-worthy thing that you can add to your accolades. Cheryl, you wanted to add to that?
Yes. When you're going up that bestseller list, or when you hit any spot on the bestseller list, take pictures, take many pictures, put them in many places, so that you don't lose it. Because today people will ask you, you got a picture of it? You see, and you say, well, no, I this, that, and you already lost them at no. And the other thing is, I never take a speaking engagement without having a purpose for that engagement. It's going to do something for my career, or even my personal edification. It may be that I take that engagement, so I get there for free, get paid, and I get to network with someone I've been wanting to network with for, say, years.
Most definitely. I love that. Did anybody else want to add anything?
I would like to.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question, actually. Do you have thoughts on, I know it's specific to different fields, to the different person, but do you have thoughts on layout that is effective? Or let's just say an overall site that is effective? And I know these are part of the things, but design-wise.
What I would say is you can do a screenshot of my expert page, my speaker media page, because I was meticulous about what I put where. Because I'm putting them in order of what I made it skimmable, and I'm putting things in order of what they care about the most. So you can definitely, and I would say go ahead and get a screenshot of it, because as I'm changing stuff, I might change some stuff around, but it's in the right order right now. So I would definitely check that out, because at the end of the day, it needs to be in order of what will excite them the most, or what they need to know the most to keep going down it, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Cool beans. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys was speaker rates. Okay. So I'm going to give y'all some information on speaker rates, but first I want to acknowledge Kimberly over here on the YouTube side. She says she wants to do visual storytelling. I need to add the interviews. I looked at your site and I need to add as seen in. That becomes or featured in. That comes before those icons. It could be media, it could be publications and that kind of thing. And then she says, I'm going to start bragging that I have no 1 foot moisturizer. Okay, no problem. Kimberly, go ahead. Dr. Latoya, you got your hand up.
Yes. What is the recommendation, or just talk a little bit about like putting links on the speaker page? Like what's too many, what's a good thing, or kind of just one general speaker reel? What are your thoughts around that?
So, what I would say is, so let me go to my page here, and this can kind of go through to Dr. Tachi and you. So Dr. Tachi, I always start with my highlights, like who I am that's worthy of them. Then I give them a little vibe right here. I tell them some signature topics right here. But I also let them know that I'm willing to change stuff for their audience, right? That's something everybody doesn't have, but I have on here about the fact that I was a messaging coach for speakers for a global marketing program, because the speakers were coming in and getting booed. And I was a student in this program, and so I used to be actively in the comments, the live comments, saying they are giving value. The value is this, this, and this. You just need to pay attention. So they was like, oh, okay, so she knows how to pull the value out of these presentations. So they pulled me as a student to head a special group that audited and help with the messaging of all of the speakers coming in. And we had some great speakers. Anyway, then I also have on here, if you have shared a physical stage or a virtual stage with somebody that is noteworthy in your industry, that should be a part of your accolades. That should be some of the things you're bragging about. So I have that on here. I have shared the stage with heavy hitters and so these are people who are heavy hitters in my industry, right? I let them know what kind of speaking engagements I do, all of them. Okay. But I list it out because I don't want them to think, oh, since she's been on big stages, she doesn't do little stages. Yes, I do. Okay. Yes, I do. All right. And then this is the as featured by or as seen on. And these are the media icons. Now, getting straight to what Dr. Latoya just asked me. I had a huge opportunity with Delta Airlines. And so that takes up a whole section by itself. Okay. Because that was a huge deal. So I got the pictures, I created a graphic for it, and you have access to actually hear my episode. Okay. And then I have another section where I just put 4. It could be 3, it could be 2, it could be 5. I wouldn't go past 5 here, where you can see the visual for that podcast, and then you can click and actually listen to that podcast episode. So Dr. Toya, if you were to do a speaker reel, okay, I would actually put a reel after that above the fold, right after, if you have a reel for it. I don't have a speaker reel per se, because I like for people to go and actually see, where the podcast stuff is. And when I'm on stage, I don't always want to use what they have captured, right? Which is why I now know I need to hire somebody myself to come in. And I've been on more virtual stages than I have in-person stages. And so my speaker reel of virtual stuff, it don't feel right to me, right? Now I did create, let me stop sharing first. And then I did create not necessarily a speaker reel, even though you can call it that, but it's really like a podcast reel, right? So I did create kind of one of those. Now let me share my screen again, because I use it to put in groups to get more podcast interviews. And so that's what it looks like. And so you should have saw yourself in there. So I just took those speaker badges and put them together, and I'm kind of talking, but I'm not playing the sound right now. But anyway, because I want people to understand I've spoken on different stages. So this kind of serves the same purpose of a speaker reel, but because all of this stuff was virtual, I just put in the virtual badges that I used for that. So that's another thing that you could do for people who have mostly virtual stuff and not really on stage footage. You can use your speaker badges from the virtual stuff and from the podcast stuff and create a reel that way. Did that answer your question, Dr. Latoya?
Yes, that was very, very good. Thank you.
Okay, cool beans. Cool beans. All right, let me give y'all this last bit of information and put it over here on YouTube too. Because even though there's more value than just being paid to speak, you have to be able to discern, will you speaking benefit them more than it benefits you? Because if it benefits them and doesn't benefit you at all, that's when you possibly need to say, I need to get paid, right? If you see another benefit, you can sell from the stage is a benefit, or you can have a table that people can meet you at is a benefit. Will they buy some of your books instead of paying you is a benefit. Do you need content, right? So is it going to be recorded where you can use it as content? That is a benefit. That's what Gary Vee used to do when he first started speaking. Now he garners he got enough content, so now he get paid. But when he first started speaking, he just got speaking just for the content is all he did. So do you need more content? Is this a new signature topic that you need content on? Things like that make it valuable. However, when it gets down to the money, a lot of people don't know what to charge. So I have done research on it. And so let me tell you that it's a range, right? It's kind of a range. So if you are a beginner speaker, you just started speaking, doesn't mean you're a beginner expert, but it does mean you're a beginner speaker. Okay. You've never really done stages before. You've been everybody's best kept secret. You don't have a lot of accolades to share. That's a beginner speaker. You can charge anywhere from $500 to $2,500. Okay. If you are a proven expert with social proof, okay, then now you can start charging that $5,000 to $10,000 range. Okay. If you are an influencer with multiple books and publications and thousands of followers across different platforms, and you are garnering like high ticket stuff and people kind of know about you, 10,000 to 20,000 and more. Okay. So again, beginner, 500 to 2,500 is like the range that most of them get. Proven expert with social proof, 5,000 to 10,000 is about that range. That's average. And if you are big influencer status, but not necessarily a celebrity, that 10,000 to 20,000 is the range where they're starting at, but it can go up and up and up and up, depending on your personal brand and your impact. Okay. So keep those things in mind. Dr. Ayana, you had a question?
Yes, I just wanted to ask about ensuring that you're engaging with an audience that is willing to pay a rate. Because, for example, people may ask you to speak and I don't know, you know what I'm kind of hinting at, that they may not have a budget, I guess. I think you kind of touched on this a little bit before, but I don't know if you can maybe come back and say in view of the rates, in view of the guide that you gave us in the chat, can you speak a little bit more on how to interface with those who may not have a budget or may have never paid an expert but want to have you to come and speak and don't understand that you know this is a regular and normal and customary pay range?
Yeah. So you just start the conversation. So it's funny because we did a whole week on speaking for visibility. So we might have to refer you back to that whole week for details. However, basically what you're going to do as a part of your process, you should be asking questions along the way, right? As soon as somebody asks me to speak, I ask them, do they have a budget for speakers? And if so, what is it? And when they tell me they have no budget, oh, okay. Are you buying books? Are you, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see what compensation they're willing to do. Am I able to sell from the stage? Will I get a table in the back of the room? You know, I'm asking because I'm going through the levels of what would make it valuable for me. Okay. So again, sometimes when they don't have a budget, that's not a deal breaker for me because maybe I can use that opportunity to debut a new topic that I'm trying to bring to the forefront. Now I'm getting content. So that's why I gave you that list of things that are other valuable things you can get out of it. But you're supposed to have that conversation going back and forth, or your assistant, or your, you know, whoever is your person that is the buffer between you and the people asking you to speak. But if you're not aligned, you're not aligned. I recently said no to a speaking opportunity in Paris, France. I called Dr. Latoya. I was like, hey, is this the one you did? And she was like, no, that's not the one I did. And I was like, okay. So I'm starting to ask them questions, right? And so first of all, the timing was already kind of off. So you guys know I'm going to leave Mexico the first week of April, start getting ready and make my way over to Southeast Asia. Well, the speaking engagement was in March, and I was like, that's already cutting it close. And then I was like, okay, well, what is your budget for speakers? She said they don't pay the speakers. I said, oh, okay, what is the per diem or the whatever, what I'm saying? Because I'm not just going to fly to France to speak on your stage to give value at a time that's inconvenient for me, right? So that's when she said, oh, they're not doing any of that. But you get the opportunity to oh, I already got all of that. So the answer is no. There's no win-win for us. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know you guys, so we don't even have the relationship to where I call it R&B rapper, where I can rap on your album this time and you sing on my album next time. Like there's no win-win. There's only them getting the benefit. And so I'm not going to be inconvenienced for that. That's a no. I'm already an international speaker. I don't even need that accolade. So number one, you need to know what other things are valuable to you at the time, right? And number two, you need to ask questions so that you know whether or not it's a win-win, and go ahead and say no if it's not. That's what I'll
Cool.
say.
Thank you so much. I will go back and look for that week. I wasn't aware of it, but I will check that out.
Yeah,
But
if you inbox me, Dr. Ayana, just inbox me and ask me, can I give you the links to the week? And I'll find it for you. But if you don't inbox me, I'm not gonna remember. Just know that.
No worries. And I just want to say that that explanation really crystallized exactly what I needed to hear. Thank you. And I will inbox you. Thank you.
No problem. No problem. Dr. Tachi said, this is good stuff. Yes, yes. All right. Any more questions or value adds having to do with either the expert page or what we've talked about this week? So we can go back to the home page. Yesterday, we talked about the about page. As you see, I'm kind of building. Right? We did the home page, we did the about page. Now we're on the speaker page for credibility. So any questions or value adds? Cheryl?
Make sure you have your own contract that you can put forth, and you can start negotiations from there if they have a contract, because people will, especially organizations that are more touchy-feely, emotional, churches, charities, things like that. Charities not so much anymore, but used to be. They promise you the world, but then when you get there and everything is done, well, this didn't happen and that didn't happen and da 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 da. And I remember we did a conference, and the the speakers were to be paid, and they were worthy of the pay. And the conference coordinators at the last minute, after the conference was over, told the speakers that they didn't have the money. And they didn't know if they were going to get the money because they didn't sell, blah, blah, blah. And so what ended up happening was the reputation of the conference was at risk, and especially since it was a new one and it was, climbing the ladders. So we put in to pay, but we let them know. And we as authors, because I wasn't part of the coordination committee, because if I was, that would have never happened. But at the end of the day, we authors got together and we put in so that they could be paid. Needless to say, you don't hear about that conference anymore. But it's, things do happen, and be as prepared as you can.
I love that. Thank you for bringing that up, Cheryl, because that is important. And something that could add to your, your range of speaking is, are they going to use the replay? Are they going to sell the replay? How many times are they going to sell the replay? Just this time after? Are they going to use your session for other stuff? All of that could up the value of it. But so this is a part of what a contract attorney can help you with, because you do definitely need to protect yourself. And again, if we go back to relationships, if you have a relationship with somebody, then we know in the entrepreneurial space, when we speak on stages, that most likely they're going to use that session to sell it as a replay. They might use it as a bonus in a program or whatever. But however, the contract that you sign with them or a speaker agreement should state all of those things, because there could be a time where maybe they become not so integrity field and start doing stuff, and you don't want to be associated with them. So you want to be able to stop them from using your image and likeness if they become that way. But yeah, you definitely want to want to start looking at the legal aspect of it. So thank you for that, Cheryl. And I think we did speak about that in the week that we talked about speaking. But yes, Dr. Tachi said flipping tables like Jesus in the temple. Oh my gosh.
You know
Dr.
that's
Yana.
right, Dr. Touch. You're so right. And
Uh-huh.
when it comes to these churches, well, you should do it for the Lord. I said, did you understand that business section in the Bible in Nehemiah? Business equals profit.
Let me
So
tell
you're
you
gonna
how the
pay
church
them
will have
something.
you doing all kind of valuable stuff
Yes.
for free. And I'm quick to tell them that the Lord told me that my abundance lied in my talent. And so
Amen. Amen. God even tell
let
you
me
what
know
to
how we're
charge
going to
them.
make this a win-win so that it doesn't affect my God-given birthright of abundance around chimp. Okay. Dr. Yana said somebody might have got cut to the white meat. All right. That's funny as heck. Anybody else have any questions or any value adds about what we talked about so far about your pages on your website and how to make them more powerful for the success of your service-based business? Again, we've talked about homepage, we've talked about page, and today we talked about your expert page, better known as your speaker media page. Anybody, any questions, any value adds? Dr. Tachi.
Well, value add to Cheryl's point also, nonprofit doesn't mean no profit.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes people conflate the fact that they are nonprofit with the fact that they don't have any money. And all we have to do is look at the United Way and what the CEO of the United Way get and the CEOs and presidents of all these big nonprofits get. And we know that's not always the case. Yeah, there are some smaller ones, but I think that they've leaned on that as a crutch. The same thing in the art world. Where they expect dancers to do things for free, etc. And really, honestly, it's on us to start expecting and demanding that you hit, because when you don't, that messes it up for everybody else speaking. So when you continuously do things for free, unless you have a relationship like you were saying, when you continuously do things for cheap and free, this is where they got the thing that they're supposed to get stuff for free. It's because of us and what we allow. So that's just an ad.
That is a value add. And the funny thing is, it might not be that you accepting a low rate is the reason why low rates are the par for the course, because you accepting low rate, you might find out you was the only one. Everybody else got paid. You was the only one that accepted it. How mad would you be then? But yes, Dr. Tachi is correct about nonprofits. Nonprofit doesn't mean no money. It just means they don't get to keep a profit from the money that they bring in. They have to find a way to disperse that money by the money brought in a year's time has to be dispersed within that year. And some of the ways to disperse it is top heavy C-suite people. So Dr. Tachi is correct. So and that's why when you are giving, you need to research how much of what you're giving is actually going to the cause that you're trying to support, because there may be a smaller grassroots organization that more of your money is actually going to the solution to the problem. So you definitely need to figure that out. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. So I gave you 15 strategies for your expert page. There's only 2 ways to get my show notes with these strategies. And that's number 1, be a part of our free business mastermind group, and they live in the file section. Number 2, you can get the show notes and the entire morning show in your email inbox. What happens is you go to shaycannon.com/show to sign up. And what you're going to get are 2 emails every broadcast day. 1 in the morning to remind you to hop on the YouTube, 1 in the afternoon that's going to give you a link to the replay and a link to the show notes. So go to shaycannon.com/show to sign up to get the entire morning show in your email inbox. All right. If you want to find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon, or how to get in on that free business mastermind group, go to the description below for the links and more information. If you haven't already, you know you got good value today. So let's like this episode by giving us a thumbs up, okay? Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and understand this is 1 of 4 videos in a series. So make sure you're checking out the other videos, all right? And with that said, tomorrow we're going to end our series talking about your service page. I kind of say the best for last. We've been going up the hierarchy of these pages. And now we're going to talk about your actual service page where your offers lie. Okay. So Join us tomorrow. That's it for today. The studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, and we'll see you right back.